This is my thoughts on Bloom Reaper's edition in BL4. Alright, and it's partly because I feel like I got a little rage baited by a YouTuber named Cashew. But two things. So he said these things go on cooldown, which is sort of half true. It's not the best. So basically, you're locked out of using it until one of two things. You either use another one where it's instantly available. It doesn't matter how long it's been. You're immediately able to use another one. So let's just show that here. You see... Okay, I'm kind of fucking ass at this, I guess, but... See how it, like, immediately pops up? It's not a timer cooldown. Or if you touch the ground. Those are the two ways to reset the cooldown, or lockout, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. It's not a time thing. It's not, oh, if I wait in the air long enough, it'll let me use it. I'm not gonna say it's impossible that there's some random long ass timer that if you float in the air for fucking 10,000 years, it'll eventually reset itself. Because computers are weird. But functionally, the way you reset it is touching the ground or using another grapple point. That is kind of an important thing to keep in mind for the fight, because if you used one, and let's say you've been floating or really, so one like this, you're floating, you're in the air, you're running out of thrust or whatever, right? And you're like, oh, I need to grapple, and you're over here, and you're like, why can't I grapple? It's because, and you might fucking die if you're not paying attention because of that. It depends on how you're positioned and whatnot. I guess would it be? I feel like maybe all of these have a decent spot. Maybe no, because it's like, oh, well, that's just fucking skill issue. That's besides the point. That's how that works. The second thing he said was that this is easier because there's no four-player scaling, which the old games had, which is partially true. I'm not gonna speak on Chromax because I don't know if he does or doesn't. Because I've beaten him, but I've only done it solo, and I haven't like fucking experimented with that shit. In BL2, I know Hyperius and I think Veracitus have four-player scaling. Oh, what the hell? I mean, this is it's an ass version of this, but I'm surprised it had so many license parts. I think it's Hyperius I'm like 100% certain of, and I think the other one is Veracitus that have four-player scaling forced in Borderlands 2. And the others have proper player scaling. And then in Borderlands 3 you have true mode, which is optional, so it's not forced. And then I honestly couldn't tell you about Wonderlands because I said this before in another take, but I didn't even know that game had raid bosses until like a month ago, I think. I've never done one. I didn't even fucking know it had them. I got to max level, I just didn't know, or at least max like player level. I didn't do all the chaos changes. But I didn't even know it had fucking raid bosses. And again, this happened last take too. I just forgot to mention the pre-sequel. Because if you notice, I was going in order. I just fucking forgot the pre-sequel. But I don't... That's the only one I haven't gotten max level, and I haven't fought the raid boss, I think. I don't even remember. I know I got to at least like level 50 and fucking... I don't even remember actually. But... Okay, so this is sort of related to this. So, with the immune phases, I am torn on them because what they do is they make it sort of more worth it to play on higher ultimate levels. Because, especially with like so much of the loot being basically guaranteed drops, and I think even like the enhancements have like a much higher drop rate on higher ultimate Vault Hunter difficulties. I'm not certain of that. I haven't tested it. Oh shit. Oops. But with so much of this time being forced, where I think it's 43 seconds, I don't remember if it was a Moxie video or a, yeah, this is kind of a fucked up run.
This is where the magic happens.
I mean, I still got flat. And I guess, so that is, when it comes to this, so much of the loot is reliant on plat, because, I mean, whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, I do think is kind of personal preference. I think having plat being rewarding, I guess, is good. I think the issue is that, like, if I didn't get fucking silver, let's see what no legendaries there. And then this, it's this chest that you get guaranteed. No legendaries there. So I killed that raid boss. I was struggling. You know, I could have spent 5 minutes on it, 10 minutes. I didn't get fucking shit. So I guess that is that is one of my critiques about it. I think, ooh, what is this? Hot Slugger. I don't know if that's better than the one I had. Oh, hey. Torg. That's real good, actually. That's actually, okay, W UVHM run. Alright, because, I actually, it was on screen, so I should have just looked at it there. Oh, actually, no, that's, I'm torn on that. Because the one I had before was, so, that's not bad. For this specifically, let me look at which one I was using before. No, not that one. Not that. Filter. Torg. It was this one. So this enhancement that I just got actually is good, I think. It just specifically for this, it is not. Because the impact damage, so if you're using the bod to damage him while his health is red, then yeah, it'll help, but most of this fight is spent fucking shooting the fucking stickies while he's immune. So the crit damage and the 25% damage, I think, is better. I don't even think it's critting. But the main thing is the 25% damage, which I guess this might actually be better. I'm not certain. What's this enhancement? Actually, okay. I'm not certain how they math out, actually, because I don't think I'm hitting crits with the bod. Technically, you could just use a throwing knife, and then, again, it's fucking better. I don't know how the numbers math out, so maybe it is better for this, maybe not. But that's besides the point. Sorry, that was a tangent. Probably should get edited out, but it's not going to, because I ain't editing this shit. Same there. But, as I was saying, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, because you spend, was I talking about the immune phases? Yeah, I think I was. Or no, I was talking about how much of the loot is tied to that. So, like, the one thing I was like, oh, the two things that I got, mainly the fucking enhancement that I was talking about, were tied to me beating it in fucking plat. And so let's just, for the fun and games, I'll be able to beat it. It'll probably be a gold run if I had to guess. So, compare that. I do this on UVHM 6, right? You're like, oh, it's the higher difficulty. It should be more rewarding. Not necessarily the case, because, it depends on your build, obviously, that is more true here than almost any other situation, besides, like, if your build just straight up one-shots everything. Oh my fucking god. fucking bitch. You already see how much longer this is going on. I mean, it shows off the build a little better, I guess. Which isn't bad. Oh, actually? Oh my god, this is beautiful. I might actually get a fucking plat on I might get a plat on UVHN6, so this might actually showcase my other plant a little better than I thought. I thought it would showcase the other one. Oh my fucking god. Okay. That is my other problem. Yeah, so I could have platted that. I should have. I fucking missed it by 1 second, and now I fucking... Like, I was literally 1 second away. So now, like, I miss out the guaranteed fucking Rainmaker. I miss out... I miss out on the chance for enhancement. Let's see. I do get legendaries. Only fucking class item or class mods, which so I think some of these are good. I haven't really used them before. So I guess I'll show my build. It was designed to use the mantra to where I am spec'd for melee damage, sort of. I used this, which the melee damage is nice, and then if you're paying attention, the melee crit chance and the action skill duration makes it to where if you're shooting something, you have infinite action skill, basically. Onion, the shield doesn't really matter here. I use the onion just because I like being able to take more damage for more time. I guess technically you wouldn't need that with this because, well, for this fight specifically, you might need it because you can't damage the boss for most of it, or like half of it, whatever. The damage dealt one, Spunky, is good for it. I don't know if the shield doesn't really matter. Enhancement doesn't matter. The grenades, you don't need this grenade specifically. You just want a grenade that isn't gonna kill you from it randomly going off or damage you big or whatever. So you don't want a grenade that's gonna do a lot of damage to you when it randomly goes off. And damage over time helps, I guess, to where having more damage instances, and then triple bypass. You can pick whichever one you need. I would say either I guess I put it in my fucking vault. Oh wait, did I? Oh, okay. Either like the enrage one or fire rate or damage reduction. It depends on what you're using it for or what your build needs in that specific thing. You can switch it around. I would say triple bypass because it's a classic Rafa thing, or anything really, where you have infinite action skill. With Rafa, that means infinite overdrive bonuses, and actually with this build that doesn't actually matter the most, but these are the things, because for the mantra, getting that increased fire rate, just you can fucking tell the difference. Again, for the mantra, you can tell the difference. I haven't tested this. I think it benefits from both of them, but this makes it to where it starts like double dipping, to where for however much gun damage you have, you get like 150% of that instead of 100%. So like if you have 100% gun damage, you get 150, or if you have like 300%, you get 450%, right? Yeah. I think that's how that works. I'm not certain. Now with caffeine, it's just fucking real good. That's it. It makes it to where you have your action skill up almost all the time. The only thing is like if it makes it to where you can't really use your rep kit with your action skill up, as you saw before. but it's fucking worth it. And then this, there is one. Is it? That would work. I don't. That depends. Realistically, that is probably the best you can. I would say. It depends. Can't melee attacks you'll be. This might be good. I don't know how that actually interacts with the mantra. That might actually be really good. I don't know how that interacts with the mantra. This would be good, but it depends on the fight if you're getting an opportunity to stack. And then we get to the skill tree. It is... So, this is mainly for this. That's the main reason I'm invested in this. Specifically for this, because it makes it to where you're going to be able to get your active skill up basically all the time, and it makes it to where you can catch up if you lag behind. And also Bullet Buddy Deluxe. This is... It carries the fucking run. Yeah, this is the main thing. Just being able to shoot it forever, or with the bod too. Those two just happen to work really well. And then so I don't remember if that was in this version or not. It was this mantra. This build works specifically for this. I'll sort of get into it, to where it's just increased gun damage. Can I see the stats? What is my melee crit chance? Oh, I didn't even realize. Okay, I haven't actually opened this screen. Is it not here? That's kind of fucking what's the point of a detailed stat screen if I can't see my fucking crit chance? And I don't feel like counting it. It's high, I know that. So this would be the one thing maybe I could change, because so is that really okay? I kind of wasn't paying. Okay, this is still good, because this is just for points, and then alright, so you only need one because of how much damage you're doing. 6% of that is because basically every shot crits, or enough to where it's fucking you can't even tell. So that's enough to sustain you, and then just this is so with how it works. The mantra stacks itself, and it gets all that damage. So it's you basically have 140% damage or gun damage up, which is 210% damage up. So maybe you would want to get rid of one of these and put it in this. These just help. Active skill. These are my fucking class mod, obviously. More duration, and this doesn't really matter. And then the grenade is helpful, I guess. So I guess I'll get to this part. So increased grenade cooldown. It doesn't really matter, but it's better than the skill damage. This is like the main reason, it's this and the next one. So you deal grenade damage, you get increased gun damage and melee damage, which is 60% gun damage, which is 90%, and then 120% melee damage. So you get 210% melee damage from that. I think it's, or mantra damage from it, I think is how it works. And then this is the reason why it only works for this specific mantra. So a portion of all Rafa's incendiary damage also deals ordnance damage, which the mantra, actually I haven't shown this off yet in this version. This is a mantra I use. It is a shock and fire one, which is really just the fire that matters, and also not just that, but so if we compare this, the DPS is 9700. The DPS numbers are not made up, but it's like a mixture of damage, fire rate, reload speed. But so it does about 10% less damage. For sometimes it does more damage than for ones, but lost loot. Do I have any mantras in here? Fucking no, I do not. This kind of fucking blows. My bad. So I have one other in my inventory. You'll just have to take my word that most of them roll around this range. Malawan. But you see, the fire rate is more than 3 times more. The damage is like 10% less, and it's a little less accurate. And it's got a longer reload speed, but it's got a bigger mag size. But the reload speed with this build doesn't matter because you just boom, 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 like you just fucking shoot forever. Because you have your active skill up forever, so as long as you're shooting things, you have you're basically invincible. I think I've killed myself. Oh, okay, it's not gonna fucking work, wouldn't I have my shield up, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, as you can see, you could very easily kill yourself with it because it does splash damage. Because the mantra just gets to benefit from everything, really. Because it has gotta wait for the fucking screen to load, but if you look here, you might not fucking know it, but it has 50 centimeters of splash, so half a meter, and it can roll in any elements. Can it roll? I don't remember if it can roll kinetic or not. I don't think it can roll like a Jacob's part. I'd have to fucking look at all the mantras I've vaulted, but I don't know how it would work with Jacob's. I don't think it can roll Torg parts or Jacob's, the ricochet thing, but it can roll a lot of other stuff. The main one that matters, though, I think, is just whatever part is making this fire rate so high is the main thing that makes this one that I'm using so good. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know parts like that. I think but the sesquiquadrat prefix is like, it's what's making this so good. I guess. I don't even. Does this do? Okay, yeah, it does. Oh, okay, that's why this fire rate's so high. It's not because of the prefix. It's just because it's a TDR. So I guess a TDR would be good for this. It's not the Ripper, or Malawan, because I've had ones that shoot slow, even with that. I think it's just some part on it. I'm not sure. Rainmaker is good. It's hard to compare because on Rafa, sticky stacking is so easy, and I haven't played on the other characters. So, I'm sure you already know what it does. Do I still? Okay, I do have it equipped. But basically, most of these shots aren't, maybe not most, but you could see not all those shots. It's real RNG dependent, but the issue is, why would I use this on Rafa when I could? Oh wow. So on Rafa it does kind of, so you can still sticky stack pretty well, but there's no reason to use it over like a bug. Maybe on either different builds of Rafa, or different characters maybe, if they don't. I don't know all the things other characters have, but it's a solid weapon. I haven't really used it as a weapon by itself without sticky stacking, so I can't tell you there. But it's solid. I can't complain. The grenade, so it's the urchin, which I think is pretty solid. I haven't really put a lot of use into it. I can't tell you exactly how good I think it's solid, but I just didn't like it for this build because C4 and it makes it to where it basically doesn't randomly go off, which and it only like it just doesn't synergize the best with this depending on how you look at it because you end up just spamming the grenade button. Um, and then this again, it doesn't really synergize the best with it. It has high DPS, but honestly, even whenever I was using it for it, maybe if you build into it is good. I didn't really try that. And then it's a shield. Wait, what shield? It's the under shield. Okay, you get over shield for your shield breaking, which it depends on your build and what gun you're using. But I don't see a reason why you wouldn't just use the onion over it, at least for defensive reasons. There's what's a fucking gun that it doesn't consume ammo when you have an overshield or whatever. Like it, I think it, do I don't feel like looking. So it has some reasons you use it if you like have something specifically that works for overshield, but I feel like the onion's just a better version.
I'm glad it was you.
And I guess I don't know if I said this in this cut or not. I feel like the boss should have more world drops because or it should, so I think either two ways of doing it, be like Vernivorous, or like Hyperius, where like, I think Hyperius is the best example, where, because it's the only one I actually know some of the spawns, but you just have like certain drops, like maybe you can farm the bot from it, or maybe you can, like there are just certain like drops that are like not like they're old drops, like how Hyperius had the north, where basically you make it more likely for you to fucking get a legendary from this, even if you miss. Oh, I fucking lost platform. But you make it to where you're more likely to get legendaries without having to need fucking 10 new drops for that, or dev time would be an issue, and making all those guns and making sure they're all worthwhile and whatnot would be hard. But just either add old drops or make it to where he just has a higher drop rate for like world drop legendaries. I know that caused like Borderlands 3 issues, so maybe we don't want to do that. But I feel like it should not be most, like, you're not going to get a legendary most runs unless you get the fucking timer. Like, oh, I didn't even realize I fucking ran out of action skill. But like, wow, I did that max difficult, maybe not, oh, I got one legendary. That sort of, I don't know. The fisheye? What the fuck? Okay, maybe that's a bad example. Maybe that's a bad example because I literally just got a world drop. And a fucking grenade, which I mean I don't like it, but it is a boss drop. So maybe that's not the best example, but like most runs you do that, you're not gonna get a legendary to drop them. You're gonna get most, and it's gonna be funny. Watch, I'm gonna get either like no fucking legendaries here, and it's just gonna completely fucking ruin my point. Oh. It sort of ruins my point still to where I only got class items from this. And getting two of them, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but like, neither of these are good. I don't actually. I'm not gonna say neither of them are good because I don't know what the fuck. I don't feel like looking at the like what perks they buff and stuff, but I haven't really used it. So that's one of the few runs where I got more rewarded for killing the boss than I did time trials. But if I had gotten plat, that immediately I go back to having earned more from just having killed the boss, or having gotten plat than just from having killed the boss. So it's like it completely like makes it almost worthless if you're not going for plat, basically, because you get like twice as rewarded for you get twice as rewarded basically for getting plat. Actually more than twice. And most runs, like 90% of your legendaries are gonna fucking come from getting plat, or the time bonuses, than getting just killing the boss, just straight up. I don't know the exact numbers, but from what it feels like, most of these legendaries I have in my inventory are from the time bonuses, not from just killing bloomreaper, which I think is kind of an issue, because it makes it to where you don't want to struggle on UVHM 6. Because, like, if I was on UVHM 5 or 3 is what I usually do, I would have fucking gotten the plat, I would have gotten a Rainmaker, I could have gotten the fucking enhancements. And it's like the trade-off is my licensed parts are a little less likely to spawn. I don't know the exact number. Which... So, with the immune phases, I don't remember if I've done this in this cut or not. But I'm torn on them because it makes it to where you kind of want to gravitate to whatever UVHM you can clear platinum consistently. Whichever one's the highest you can clear it consistently is what you want to farm it on. Because, so, I think it's from I don't remember if it's Moxie or a Jolts dude. I think the first immune phase is 20 seconds. The second one is 23, and then getting over here is probably another 15. Maybe like 5-10 seconds. So you spend like 50 seconds a minute, and then with the animation is a minute. Just like unskippable time. And you have 47 seconds that you can run around with. Alright? That's the time that really matters for you to get your plat, right? I mean, you sticky stack in the immune phases because that's really the only way you can do damage. Maybe some like C4 fucking spam, I don't know if that works, or you basically just want to set up your big damage while you're getting your fucking while it's immune. You just want to either sticky stack or however you can build up damages instances that'll only apply whenever the phase ends or whenever you trigger it. So that there's give and take. I would say maybe it probably would be better and more diverse if there wasn't any, and it'd be easier and a little more enjoyable to farm. But like the immune phases sort of make it longer, but what they really do is funnel you into using sticky stacking. Cause like I can fucking twiddle my thumbs for fucking 43 seconds, or I spend that time smart and it like makes it to where why would I use anything else but like the bod or another sticky stacking gun? Because while I'm doing all of this, another gun I just wouldn't be able to damage with. Wait, the twerk stickies can kill you? I didn't even know that. Oops. Okay. But so it does make it technically take longer because it makes it where basically every run at minimum will take like a minute 15. And if you were to like insta phase everything, it would be like 45 seconds basically. Unskippable. That's so we'll say again like a minute basically that you wouldn't be able to skip from animations, getting there, immune phases. It's like it makes it to where everyone's like a minute, and what that does is it makes it to where if it takes you 10 seconds longer to kill on, so let's say you can do UVHM1 and all in those special seconds, like 20 in the time that actually matters, you can do it in like. See, the issue is like it doesn't even scale right because with the immune phases, with the sticky stacking, it fucks it up. Let's say you're not sticky stacking, so compared to UVHM6, UVHM1 will just round it off, say it's 3 times quicker, right? So let's say you can do all the things that actually matter in UVHM in 10 seconds, right? Whereas compared that to UVHM6, it takes 30 seconds, basically. I don't know the exact numbers. We'll just say that. 30 seconds. So you compare the times, it's every run on UVHM1 is taking a minute and 10 seconds compared to a minute and 30, and I don't mean like actual runtime. I mean again but with all the loot dropping and stuff, maybe it's like 2 minutes to run, opening the chest and stuff. So all of a sudden, instead of it being 3 times longer for the run, it's like 25% longer, 10% longer. I don't feel like doing the exact numbers, but it makes it to where it doesn't matter as much that it takes longer on UVHM because there's so much time that's unskippable that like the extra you spent an extra 20 seconds doing damage, so that instead of it taking 2 minutes, it took 2 minutes and 30 seconds with all the looting and moving and unskippable cutscenes and immune phases. So it's like the extra part spawn might actually be worth it, especially when the Rainmaker is so reliant, maybe not reliant, but like those licensed parts can really change how it works. So if you were able to, it would be a pain in the ass to farm, but you farm it with, do any of these have, yeah, actually, so if you were ideally a 4% sticky damage and a shotgun Daedalus thing would like make a difference of like night and day. Because is it, I know I've got, okay, this one, I know unless like they're exclusive, I don't think that's the case because it's not for the bod. I'm not sure, or I don't know. I guess I'll just see how does this shoot with it, with the shotgun mod. So like if you were able to sticky stack with that, that would probably be really good. That was my point. So because you see how fast it's shooting, how many it's shooting, and all of those would be 3 or 4%. I don't know exactly how those part spawns work. I know it can do 3 or 4. I just don't know if they're restricted or whatnot. But because this is so reliant on the licensed parts and there's so much unskippable time, it makes it to where if those 10 seconds might actually be worth it instead of, if you're farming like a regular boss, you kill it in 5 seconds on UVHM1 or fucking easy mode, really. You kill it in 6 times less time than UVHM6. So it's like, why, like, and it takes you like fucking 3 seconds to get back to your fucking thing. All this stuff makes it to where playing on the higher UVHM difficulties is sort of worth it for Bloom Reaper because there's so much time you have to do it. I know I've said that a million times now. But the issue I have is it funnels you into playing with fucking sticky stacking because it's like, I guess if you're playing on true mode, I haven't done this before, so this will be a first time checking. It didn't need to reload it. It's on, right? Right? Okay. Right? Just one more time to double check. Yes, it's on. So I guess I'll look at it and see how true mode scales. This probably is gonna be like a silver run, but I just want to see like the damage I do to the health bar.
because I'm not sure if sticky stacking is like super how it's viable it is. God damn. And so this is not about, one, I would say I think true mode is just not worth it though, because like, unless you're specifically farming the mantra, because I don't think true mode, like, I don't think your licensed parts are more likely to spawn from 4 players. I think it's just like the legendary drop rate itself. Okay, this is the point though. This is what really matters. All the other shit was low. This is what matters. How much damage do I do with this not super optimized build? No. How much damage does that do? Yeah, see, that's like fucking nothing almost. Maybe it wasn't perfect and you could build better for it. But like, before, as you saw, like with an unoptimized, like it sort of works with a bot, but it's not really designed for it, it's more designed for this. I guess, oh fuck. That is what I was talking about before, where it is very easy to kill yourself if you're not thinking. Because of the splash damage. So, you'd either want to build more optimized for that, or that's where you start getting into more super optimized things, where you're not going to be sticky stacking, or maybe your shit will be more optimized and you're more built for it, which maybe is the worst thing. I don't. But that's, I guess, on true UVHM6 mode, that's where we start to get to like, you know, more worth it, I guess, to fucking not sticky stack. But in most, on UVHM6, on UVHM1, on easy mode, all the ones in between until we start doing true mode, you're just sticky stacking. Because as you see, I'm not like, my build does benefit it some, but like most of this build is designed to where I'm not really benefiting it, besides the splash damage and crit chance and the splash damage with the shock damage. So these are like the, and then, you know, obviously gun damage. So that's where you start, maybe if you start if you like when you get to UVHM6, you'd either start optimizing a sticky stacking build or using like an actual, like a unique build that's more optimized in another way. But realistically, on at least, like I said, UVHM 1, 6, 5, 3, 2, 4, all of those, you're gonna just fucking sticky stack because fucking, actually I don't feel like doing it right now. It's just, it's like the only thing you can do between those phases. And even if you're like, even if you're doing a fucking, like a more optimized build, still the only thing you can do is like sticky stack. So these immune phases, they had their pros and cons, but I think, I do think it would be better without it. It would have different issues, but I do think it would be better for the game if it just wasn't there. But I can sort of understand some benefits that they would think would come from it. But, and maybe, you see, the issue is, like, if you just made it to where you can't sticky stack, or let's just say there wasn't sticky stacking in the game, you still, like, then it just turns into, you can't do anything. Maybe if you made it to where there's, like, enemies, and you have to clear them fast before the immune phase to end, or you have to shoot something and do something, then it could work, right? Like, let's say all the enemies that spawn, you have to kill them all before the immune phase ends, or that you kill them and it ends quicker, or whatever. You make it interactive, and there's no sticky stacking, then maybe, actually, if it was interactive, then the sticky stacking wouldn't matter. But as it is now, if you take sticky stacking it out from the equation, either you nerf it to where you can't sticky stack on immune things or whatever, you still have, like, the issue of you just fucking sit there with your thumb up your ass for 20 seconds and 23 seconds. So on a plat run, you spend basically half your time with your thumb up your ass. And that's if you take the full 90 seconds.
Enjoy this break.
So, yeah, that's an issue I have with the immune phases, because it makes it, and so as it is right now, I think that's an issue. If we make it to where not every fight has these same immune phases, or like it's more interactive when they're a thing, you know, so we get to the next one and it's not like, oh, do the same fucking, you do some damage, they go immune for 20 seconds, you do some damage, they go immune for 20 seconds. So that if every fight is like that, then I think it's a real issue, because then it's like sticky stacking is just what you do for every fucking raid boss, to where there's no, like, diversity, there's no changing of strats, there's no, it's just fucking sticky stacking. Now, if, like, not every fight has immune phases, or another fight has, like, an immune phase that you have to, like, kill something during, then all of a sudden sticky stacking isn't an issue. But as it is right now, the only fight in the game makes it to where sticky stacking is just what you want to fucking do, because, you know, what else are you gonna do besides stick your thumb up your ass for the fucking immune phase? I think the fight is fun. It's compared to the BL2 raid bosses, it is much easier, and I don't mean that from a four-player scaling or whatever. It is just easier. Maybe if you're saying even platting it, because, like, I'm not using an super optimized build, and I still almost platted it on UVHM6. Maybe when we're talking about platting it on true difficulty, on true difficulty, on UVHM6, that's where we start to get it to comparable to, like, BL2 raid bosses. And I'll say it's not, like, it's basically, like, impossible to do apples to apples, because there's probably going to be level cap increases. I don't think there will be like a new playthrough like True Vault Hunter mode or Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, especially since we already have a quote-unquote Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. But there's gonna be more UVHM levels. There's gonna be, you know, probably a higher levels, you know. So you can't. It's not like apples to apples. But, like, if you did, like, Terramorphous day one, I feel like I never did that, and I can't really get that experience, because, I mean, you have to be level 50, base Borderlands 2, play it on True Vault Hunter mode, and no DLCs, and, you know, level 50 max. I still think Terramorphous would be harder than this. Maybe not than, like, fucking maxed out fucking UVHM6 true mode, but, like, true mode barely gets you, like, you have a better legendary drop rate, I would imagine, because it's 4-player scaling. But I don't think, but, like, most of the loot that you're getting is not percent drop based, and if it is, like, that's where we're getting to the point. That's where we're getting to the point. No, don't fucking pin it. No, don't fucking... No, unpin. Man, manly unpinned, bro. Fucking delete it, bro. No, I did not. I don't need fucking cheap views, bro. Why the fuck would I pay for views, bro? My one viewer is a fucking bot trying to sell me views, bro.
I'm here for you.
Sorry. But basically, fuck. Sorry, I got thrown off track from the fucking view botter. Sorry. Give me a second. Oh, where like true mode, like I don't even think it's really worth it for this unless you're doing it specifically for the challenge. With higher UVHM levels, I do think there's an argument to be made because of how much unskippable time is there. But when you get to true mode, it's like, why? Like, you might, if you're gonna do that, it's like you're inflating the health values. Most of the, so I would imagine it boosts the drop rate on the legendaries in the chest, but like, it's such a high value that boosting it barely matters. The Rainmaker's guaranteed. All the others are technically chance, but it's such a high chance, I don't think it matters. So, like, true mode is kind of just pointless unless you just want to do that fucking challenge. Whereas in BL2, doing True Vault Hunter mode, Terramorphous, is harder than this is. Because that's the most fair comparison. I guess Vernivorous would also be a thing, but I don't even know how hard Vernivorous is, I'm gonna be honest. I think I've maybe killed it once. I don't even fucking remember. But like there's no direct comparison to be made because, you know, it's just the game scaled differently. We're at different points in their lifespan. They have different features active, so there's not really a proper comparison to be made. But I still think this compared to everything else, unless we're specifically talking about platting it, like I said, on higher UVHM difficulties, it's much easier than any other raid boss that I've fought, besides, at least from Borderlands 1 and 2. I can't talk about anything from Tiny Tina. I don't remember Borderlands 3 fucking Hemovorous. I don't remember how hard that is. I've never done, I don't think I've ever tried the pre-sequel raid bosses. My saves are on a fucking Xbox 360 sitting in storage, so I don't have a high level. I guess technically I could fucking cheat it in or get a save on fucking PC now. But compared to any of the ones, like any Borderlands 2 or Cromrax raid boss are much harder than this. I think it is a step, like having this in the game is a good thing. Maybe it should have been in the game day one, because I feel like even with how we are now, I wouldn't say that any of the changes were like made the games a lot more balanced. I don't think, like, the crit knife nerf, yeah, it hurts, but like with how the fight's designed, that barely even matters because you spend so much time that you can't damage it. Like, the only thing having an unnerved crit knife would help with is the fucking first stage, because you throw one knife at each crystal and then you auto crit on each one and that's it. Because you spend so much time with him immune and you have such little time if you want to plat it, that the having to throw all three at once doesn't matter, because you throw all three, you blitz it, and then you wait 23 seconds, so by the time you could damage him again, you go back to having all three and your 90% crit chance. So like, I don't, if it was just like a content complete thing, like they couldn't make it before this, then I understand, right? You know, it's like, just, you can't, some things are impossible basically. Whereas, if it's like oh, we want to make sure the game's in a better state, I think that could be a fair argument, depending on how it's balanced. But like, the game's still so broken that that's not a fucking argument to be made. Because like Destiny 2, if you want to give a couple weeks before like a raid or dungeon comes out, that to give people more time to grind and make sure the game isn't fucking broken. I can get that. It's online only. You don't want it to crash. You want to make sure it's stable. You want to make sure the competition is fair and, you know, there's not a bunch of super broken shit. I can get that, right? But this game is sort of already designed to be broken. I don't think people take World's First seriously on this. I'm not sure. I don't think so though. I don't think people like race. I think people just, you know, fucking kill it, right? Because, I mean, racing to be World's First, you know, the fight takes fucking 2 minutes. So, it's whoever loads in right away, as soon as it's available, and spends fucking 5 minutes getting here and killing the boss, right? Like, it's just not as impressive a feat. So balance doesn't matter as much, and if it's one of those things where they want to make it seem like, oh, we're doing more support for it because, oh look, we gave out this raid for free 2 months after the game came out, when Borderlands 1, it is DLC only for raids. 2 had Vernivorous and Terramorphous, which is more than this. Pre-sequel, I think, is... I don't even remember what the fucking raid boss in pre-sequel is. I think it's in the Claptrap DLC. Borderlands 3, they got the takedowns and I think... I don't know what all is free and what all is paid in Borderlands 3. It's been so long. And like it all fucking blends together because BL2 makes it very obvious what's DLC. Same with BL1. 3, I don't know what raid bosses are free and paid and what was added later. I think Hemivorish and the raids were free, I think, or takedowns, whatever, were free. I think Wonderlands has 3 raid bosses that were all like, or 4 raid bosses. Were they all base game? Which is kind of crazy, but it still had no endgame, which is even crazier. And then this, it has 1 raid boss 2 months after the game came out, but it's free. So I'm not gonna say it's about average for how the franchise handles itself, right? And I think that's sort of. I thought about making a video on this on itself. Borderlands 2 is such a well balanced, when I say balanced, I don't mean in terms of gameplay, because that shit is unbalanced as fuck. But I mean like in terms of content, what's DLC, what came with the game, what's, you know, there's so much, like, it does a good job in everything. The personality, the gameplay, again, not in terms of like balanced gameplay, but everything in the game is good. Jack's good, like, Jax carries a story, and I think people overglaze BL4 for some reason and say, oh, it's the best story in this franchise. No, it's not. BL2 clears specifically because of Jack. If Timekeeper was as good as was in the game more, and not, you meet him in the tutorial, you talk to him for a little bit, and then you don't talk to him for the rest of the game, and then you talk to him for the last like 10 minutes, like hour or two, and you spent 30 hours in the middle where you didn't talk to him at all, and they actually developed his character, because as it is right now, he's not in 90% of the game, and he just disappears from your mind because it's like he quote unquote kills what's his fucking face, the guy who helps you at the beginning, final boss, the wannabe siren, what's his name? I don't remember, but after that he just fucking disappears from the game basically, and like you don't interact with him at all. He doesn't talk to you or anything. He's just gone. And you have the side villains, which are their own things. They're decent, but yeah, long story short, I think just BL2 is a much better story because it's much more organized linearly, so it's not like reliant on, oh, we can't fucking tell you this because what if you're doing it in a different order, and they could have still worked around it, to where like Timekeeper sort of interacts with you at like you do the same thing at different times in different quests or whatever, and you design either all 3 locations to work for all 3 missions, or have the missions take place in like a separate place. You could they could have done a better job integrating the Timekeeper into more of the story, even if it's like you can't choose which location they do first. But god damn, I've been yapping for an hour. That's crazy. But yeah, these might be some. I wanted to say they're fucking NPC takes, but honestly, I feel like a lot of the time I've seen people talking about this. They either like, so yeah, the immune phases are bad, but when people say, "Oh, you just have to sit there and wait," no, you have to sit there and sticky stack, which is its own issue, but it's not like you're doing nothing. The issue is it funnels you into using fucking this SMG bod with the stickies, right? Because why would you use anything else? Maybe like the Rainmaker, if you were using with the shotgun and the sticky Torg, if that role exists, that would be better, right? But you know, oh, sorry. So the immune phases have their own pros and cons. I do think, like I said earlier, it's a net negative, but I don't think it's as bad as people say. Sorry, again, I'm being distracted by a sort of a real life instance.
Love the commitment to self-care. Enjoy this break.
Sorry, back to what I was talking about. I think, yes, it would be better if it wasn't there. It would have its own issues, but I still think it would be a better situation. Because it is annoying that, like, it feels bad that the game tells you to clear it in 90 seconds, but what it really means is 47 seconds. Because it, like, you know, it's... like, it just feels misleading, because when you get used to it, yes, it's like, okay, yeah, I can, like, I understand it's 47 seconds, and I'm not super angry about the, immune phase. But, when you're, like, first introduced to it, you're like, 90 seconds, okay, I can maybe do that, and... so you do the boss the first time, and you're like, why the fuck is he immune for so long if you want to kill me, want me to kill it so quick? And so you end up getting like no timer or like a silver or gold because you're not used to the fight. That I can understand it souring your mouth. As someone who's fucking, as you can see, and as I've said, I guess I'll just fucking fast travel to look at my vault. I do think that this was something, I think it was from Cashew. I do agree they should just put all this shit that you would need in that location because it's annoying. You can't look at your vault, you can't respec, you can't do all, like in Borderlands 2 is the main one that comes to mind. You know, there was a gun or ammo shop, health shop, and a skill respec thing, right? So it's like, and it sort of has that, but I think they should just put more shit in there, just so you don't have to, like how I just had to fast travel because, you know, I fucking, technically, yeah, the vault wasn't there in, so there's 152 things in here. If I had to guess, like 120-ish, 100-ish of this is all from the whatchamacallit, the bloomreaper. So like farming it is definitely worth it. I think there should have been more drops, not necessarily new drops, but like either make the world drop legendary chance higher to where you're more consistently getting legendaries as drops for just killing it, or like have old drops be featured drops like how BL2 did it, to where like Hyperius had like the, I think it was the lead storm, the fucking what is it, the Northleaf. You know, have it to where these bosses feature some legendaries from the base game, to where like you just feel like you're getting more consistently rewarded. I would say make them good, ideally legendaries, but like have a couple good ones and a couple bad ones, to where like maybe you're not gonna farm Bloom Reaper for it, obviously, because you know they have like a higher drop rate somewhere else. But to like at least give the feeling that you're being rewarded for doing the fucking quote-unquote endgame challenge, you know? I think just making it to where you get more legendaries would be nice. So yeah, that's my TED talk. I think I've gotten most of it off my chest, and ain't no one gonna watch this shit anyways, but you know what, I had to make it because on those two things, really, there might have been one more thing that annoyed me from the Cashew video. Those were the two main ones, or I guess three. He said, like, the complaints about the immune phase, which I don't think are completely wrong, but to say you can, I think he basically says you just have to sit there, which is wrong. You have to sit there and sticky stack. And then the really minute one was how he said they go on like a cooldown, which is not entirely true. You get locked out of using them, or the cooldown is until you use another one or you touch the ground. It's not like a time thing, so cooldown doesn't seem like the right word to use. And then the force 4P scaling is just, I don't know if Chromorax works that way. I know most of the BL2 ones don't work that way. BL3 has true mode, which this game has, but it's not forced, it's optional. So Yeah, basically, that's it. It is definitely my last thoughts, which I guess we'll close out. I do think it's good. I think it has its issues. It's not enough to save the game, and if every fight was of a similar quality to this, I think BL4 would have or every raid boss, BL4 would have a decent end game. Maybe we could hope for better raid bosses. I think they should be different. So like maybe the next one, it doesn't have immune phases, and it doesn't have the time trial, but it's just like a much harder fight. You know, it has more health, it does more damage, it has more ads. You know, you just have to design the fights differently, because if every fight is designed, you deal damage, immune phase, you deal damage, immune phase, you deal damage, then you know, it gets stale. Either sticky stacking is a meta, or like there's just a lot of like it would get stale. As it is right now, I am fine with bloomreaper. If we, you know, get another 4 raid bosses and all of us like or another 2 or 3 or however many we're gonna get, right? I know we're getting a takedown next year, right? But if we get all of that, so having a takedown probably means it won't be entirely the case. I don't know exactly how they'll design it. Hopefully it's good. You never know though. But if, you know, if they're designed all unique, I think this is fine. If they're designed to be all like bloomreaper in either a better or worse quality version of it, to where again it's just damage, immune, damage, immune, damage, immune. There's no puzzles, there's no interactiveness, there's no, like, you just have to wait damage, then that would be an issue. I think, like I said, as it is right now, I won't complain about it. But if we get another 4 raid bosses that are all the fucking same, then we have a problem. So, as it is right now, I do have hope though. And what I will say is, for the people who complained about you don't like having to jump around, it should be a flat circle, a flat arena, you know, whatever. Like, it should be like the old raid boss arenas where it's just a fucking flat circle. Okay, I understand why you would like that, because that's what you're used to. But the game doesn't have double jumping, dashing, grappling, floating for no reason. It's designed to use all the mechanics. Now, if we get a fight next one that's sitting in a flat circle and it's just a raw damage check, I would be fine with that, as long as the loot's good and it's sort of well balanced. Is hard to define in Borderlands, but you know what I mean. Like, it's worth the investment. But I do think it's just one of those things where we'll just have to wait for time to tell, because, you know, it's just this game, because like, even if we say, oh, like, we won't even be able to know with bloomreaper how he'll be balanced in a year. Like, if they add fucking 4 more UVHMs and it's fucking plus 2,000,000% health for whatever the fuck it is. Obviously not 2 million, but you get my point. We don't know what the numbers, how it'll scale, buffs, nerfs, the sandbox. So we can't judge it in comparison to most other raid bosses. But for what it is, I do think it's good, and I do think it's good for the game, at least for now. Again, Borderlands games, a lot of this, I think 3 doesn't happen. 2, it definitely fucking happens. to where as the DLCs came out, it just got worse. The balance basically got worse and worse and worse and worse. Because like UVHM or True Vault Hunter mode to UVHM is sort of the same, except you now have to use slag to make up the difference. So like it already funnels your playstyle some. And then OP8 level 61 and then 72, maybe not the biggest differences, you just get more skill points. And then OP8 is where it really fucking changed. And then again, level 80 and OP10 is even worse. So, I can't tell you exactly how the end game for this game will go. So, if all like the bounty packs are the same as the market or the mercenary day one, and that's the best they get, then that might be an issue. And with the story DLCs, what are they called? But like the actual DLCs, depending on how good those are, that might make a difference. They might also fuck up the game like it happened in Borderlands 2. I'm not gonna say Borderlands 2 is bad. It is the most consistent quality Borderlands game. I would say it is probably like the best. If you have issues with how it's balanced and say you prefer the gameplay like 3 or 4, I can get that. But from end to end, story, loot, gameplay, end game, it is the best product, right? It is on all fronts, it is the best. Even like despite all its problems, just everything about it basically adds together to make it better than all the other ones. It has the most personality. It has a good balance between gameplay and challenge, because like Borderlands 3 and 4 like have pretty much objectively better gameplay. Maybe you can argue 4 has some issues where like, oh, vials and whatnot you don't like, and immune phases and stuff. But like if we're specifically talking from like gunplay mechanics and shit, then yes, 4 would be better. You know, it has probably like the most diverse endgame where like there's fucking 10 raid bosses or some shit. Maybe you could say like, oh, 3 has takedowns, which are cool, but like there's 2 takedowns and one of them's ass, right? Wonderlands, I can't talk about pre-sequel again. I fucking forgot about for the fucking 3rd time talking about the games in order. But I do think this is at least a step in the right direction. Long story short, and I guess I'll cut it off there.